very big welcome to everybody. Saturday the 8th of February 2020, and thank you very much for joining me for my Sunday review. This is filmed as my introduction to that Sunday review for the 9th of February 2020. I'm in the Blackpool wedding chapel. It's a cracking morning here, however there is a wind, so I've had to seek refuge in this very nice Blackpool wedding chapel, looking out onto the seafront. Thank you ever so much to everybody who watches my videos, and also for all the people that help me to produce them. Now, this video this week contains all clips and will bring you up to date on all the venues that we visit, and there is a cracking little trinket. We will visit a shop of Susanne's, who has an established little business, a marvellous premises on the South Shore. Her name is Susanne, and we're invited, and in actual fact Susanne will do all the narration for her emporium. I do hope you enjoy this. So I'm going to start the video now for my Sunday survey. Lastly, I must tell you, that Queen Street job that was going to be done, yes, it has been postponed. There's no closure of Queen Street on this Monday the 10th of February. It is postponed until Monday the 17th, with the stipulation again, subject to change. So I'm going to start the video now, and I do hope you enjoy it, and please make sure you watch Susanne with her narration and her guided tour of her shop. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It is 10 AM on the Monday morning, and this is Topping Street. Quite a lot to show you and to tell you. Firstly, you can see all the barriers now that were down this part of Topping Street, all being taken away. Next, we will see the van of the company that are laying these pavement flagstones. And this side, right up to Iceland, all completely finished. And if we go to the end here of the cage, you will see that it's all finished over there as well. We are crossing now over to the other pavement. And if you can remember, which I'm sure you can, all this area here was not laid at all, but now on this morning all the pavement tiles are laid, and in front there's a contractor now just hosing everything down to make it nice and clean. But what a marvellous job been done here. Something very important. This area now that we are in is two-way traffic. I have reported in the past it will be one-way traffic. Not correct. It is going to be two-way traffic in this area. The area we are now approaching will also be receiving 3 sets of traffic lights. Yes, there's 3 sets of traffic lights planned here. This is what I've been told this morning. A couple of contractors there you can see with the manhole covers preparing an area all around here for the laying of the pavement tiles. If I may just confirm, this area, two-way traffic, and there's apparently 3 new sets of traffic lights to be installed directly here. All of this learned this very morning. And just across the road, and we are now looking directly to Iceland from the side. A more clearer view of this location.
It is one marvellous sunny morning as we make our way at the start of today's video down Topping Street. And yes, this is just a few days since our last visit here, and as you can see, all the barriers taken down, and this side and the other side of the road have received their new pavement areas. Marvellous job. There's the salad bowl across the road, and also approaching now directly opposite Iceland. And the new work area starts here, as I said in my previous video. Lots of preparation work here for the installation of the 3 new traffic lights, traffic signals. Outside the Washington Public House now, and continuing our visit along Topping Street. You can see this area here. Now look at this. Lots happening here. And the first cage extends a few yards right down here Topping Street. As said to you in my last video, I have just crossed the road to avoid the sunlight, and we're now approaching Churchill's Public House across the road, and we are now approaching Wood Street. Now here's the signs that have been put up. I'll just show you this sign here. There we are. This road here, right the way down to Iceland, is closed, and it is week 1 of 22 weeks. Yes, this area of Topping Street that we're looking at now will be closed for 22 weeks. Have just turned round and going to continue our walk right the way down to the end of Topping Street. After that area that we've just left, this area here, all along towards the end of this street, this will be attended to as well, with new pavement areas either side of the road. And the 2 signs that inform everybody of this road closure. Now just across the road we can visit the build of Blackpool's Conference Centre and Hotel. You see, all these areas, all these venues that I will be taking you today, all in really a few hundred square yards of each other. The whole regeneration area here is also very, very close together. And look, right in front of you now is the build of Blackpool's Conference Centre and Hotel. Now there's major progress here that you can see on the outside of the build. Coming along very, very nicely. Well, that's about all I can really show, as most of the work is internal here, although as said, great progress on the outside as well. And just a few paces from that build we find ourselves right back in St John's Church area, St John's Square. And on the left, coming up, is Blackpool Winter Gardens. I'm just going to walk you down here to show you again a view of the Pizza Express and the exciting project here of a block of 6-storey flats and new shop premises at ground level of this Pizza Express. Yes, all of these existing shops to be taken down and replaced, hopefully with planning consent from Blackpool Council, which takes place sometime I think in April. This will all be taken down and replaced with new shop premises on the ground level and 6 stories of 39 flats. That is where we were, Blackpool's Winter Gardens, and we are now opposite Abingdon Street Market. And a few paces along is the old post office of Blackpool, which a good few months ago now received planning consent for this to be turned into a 104-roomed hotel with all the trimmings inside. And the telephone kiosk outside, they're all listed, so they will remain forever and ever. There's a full view of this lovely building. The facade of this, along with the telephone kiosks, cannot be touched. It is all listed. To my left, I'll just show you this, a very nice sign here, Tina's Cafe. And continuing our walk along Abingdon Street, I would like to take the opportunity of showing everybody the chance to see all the vacant premises in this very, very interesting area, with all the builds all going on. And also I can show you, we've only just gone a few paces, just down there you see that big tower crane. Well, that's the build of the Premier Inn. And as said, I'm just going to show you all the empty premises that are available directly in all these areas of the builds. This is the first one, a colossal sized shop. And now we're walking down this road here that will take us directly to the build of the Premier Inn. This one here that I showed you firstly, it used to be Santander, the building society. Another one here, empty premises, and also the one next door. A tattoo shop in operation, and the next one is another empty shop with all the details there. And yet another one, a very well known this one. This used to be Shaw's Cafe. And the one next door, all closed up with the front windows all smashed in. So there we are. There's some, hopefully somebody might be interested on the off chance of one of those vacant shops. Right on top now of the build of the Premier Inn. And again today we have a fleet of all vans of contractors attending this build. Oh, now this is interesting. We've got the painters in here. And all of these vans, some unmarked, all involved with the build of this Premier Inn. Just in time to see a removal of one of the many hundreds of skips that have been arrived and taken away from this build. And across the road I can show you a van from New Look Windows. It's a cracking morning here, winter sunshine, and the joy of it, no wind today, the wind is having a holiday. And this van here, just driven up, concrete drilling services. So there's quite a lot of contractors here providing their services to the build of the Premier Inn. And this will close our visit today to this build. Virtually at water's edge now. There's the North Pier to my left, and the lovely, lovely calm sea of the Irish Sea on the beach at low tide. It is just ourselves here with a few seagulls on the beach. One of the many joys of Blackpool at this time of the year, on a cracking morning like this, is to come here and you virtually have it all to yourself. A coach from G-Line Holidays. They take you from actual door to door, and they've just come up to take back the people that have enjoyed a Monday to Thursday holiday in Blackpool. Just starting now to see the arrival of people coming out of their hotels after their morning breakfast and arriving directly onto this promenade of Blackpool. There's Blackpool Tower straight in front. Yes, this place never closes. 52 weeks of the year. Visitors here. There's no doubt about that. Across the road, another big coach from a holiday company, Fen Holidays. Just shows you how many families and couples enjoy a winter's week here at Blackpool. The Sands Venue Resort Hotel, and we are at the side closest to Blackpool Tower. Just in time to see some supplies arriving, and also that mobile crane stretched out right to the top of the build. Just show you the end of this second side, this first side here. And I'm just going to move round the front now. Oh, please will you notice those cross members. Now I'm across the road now, and you have a full frontal view of this build of the Sands Venue Resort Hotel. Now I would like just please to mention something. I have asked you to remember the cross members. Well, what's happened is, a lot of times when I'm in town, I'm stopped and asked, will these be covered up, these cross members? And also I have had some very nice messages on my comments page of the videos also inquiring about this. Well, if I may quickly explain, the answer is no. These cross members are the actual finish to the build. When you see them for the first time, they may look severe. However, they do sort of calm down, and I think they are perfectly acceptable. Yes, they will go round the whole of the build here, these cross members. So I had to mention that just to explain to the people that kindly stopped me and also making their kindly comments. This is the actual finish of the facade right the way around this build. Our usual view from the front to the rear through now this very progressive extension of the build to the side. We are round the second side now, and you feel like you can almost touch this extension. We are at the rear now, and you can see on the top tier some contractors there on this sky lift. Great progress here. I'm just going to move to my right now. Here I am again with another view of the rear. wonderful progress, and a view of this will end our visit today to the Sands Venue Resort Hotel. I'm on the seafront again, and I'm just waiting for a tram to take me down to the Waterloo Road area, and we'll have a look at that easy hotel build. There's a tram that's on its way to Fleetwood. I want one that's going the other way, and I think there's one coming down now. Yes, there's one coming down now that I can see. So I will see you at Waterloo Road. Waterloo Road and the build of the Easy Hotel, which will provide very, very reasonable rates for a stay overnight or longer. Some rooms with no windows. There is a lot of interest with this build, and the contractors have installed a viewing window. So I'm going to approach it with the camcorder and just look through this window covered with perspex. I'm not certain what you'll be able to see, but it's very thoughtful of the contractors to actually do this. A very, very quick view from one of the sides. The sides closest actually to the entrance of Waterloo Road. Just going to show you the actual entrance for all the contractors' lorries and vehicles, and tarmac vehicles as well. This always locked. So that's our visit to the Easy Hotel. I'm just going to turn round and see what's happening in Waterloo Road itself. That is where we were, and if I was to turn around slowly and show you this is the newly purchased, the fairly newly purchased property of Hearts. Somebody purchased this and they wanted to turn it into a car park. Now what's happened is I've just been called over. Several of the shop owners in the area see me, and they came to me and they told me that the council have stopped this. They've refused all further work to make this into a car park. This is what I'm told, and I'm very pleased to tell you all about this. Yes, 3 weeks ago the council appeared and they put a full stop to this. There was no planning applied for, and he was told, the owner was told, there was no chance whatsoever of him ever being granted permission to turn this into a car park. I thank the owners of the shops and interested parties in their time in telling me this morning. The interested parties are very concerned now that this is going to stay like this for a considerable time. This is now a problem for one and all, because it's only yards from the promenade and it is a real eyesore. And also something very, very interesting, actually this was listed property. Wonderful help I've had this morning, and I was informed that this in fact was a listed property, so it shouldn't have been touched in the first place. I'm round the side now, and what a silly thing to do. I shouldn't say it, but what a silly thing for somebody to do, to enter work like that without planning a consent. Madness. And now the result is it's like this, and as said, the local shop owners, they're very concerned, and I think everybody must be concerned. Anyway, I'm going to again return to the kind people who have assisted me this morning with all that wonderful, interesting information. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hello everybody, I've just received some very, very late information. The information is that now the owner is liable for rates amounting to £50,000 per year on this property, as and from right now, I'm told. So that will end my visit here to Waterloo Road. Hello everybody, it's Friday now and we're going to go to Waterloo Road area because we have an invite to go and see the inside of a very interesting shop operating from that area. So I'm just waiting for a tram now and I will see you when we arrive at that location. Well, we have arrived nearly at the shop I want to take you around. However, first of all, here we see some scaffold company taking down the boards from here due to the threat of this impending storm of ours which we may get. Yes, they're having to take the boards down for health and safety reasons here. Now we've just got to go round the road here to get to the shop that we are invited to walk around. This is the road we have to go up. Just cross over the road now. And as we walk towards our venue, I'd just like to remind you of our visit that we had to this very nice family-run cafe called the Potter Inn. And you can see it now, straight across the road. A lovely, lovely, clean cafe with marvellous food in here. The Potter Inn. And funnily enough, where we want to go is exactly next door. So you've got the Potter Inn there, and this is where we're going to visit Mrs. Johnson and her wall shop. Look at the building here, look. I'm told it's very, very old indeed, and a credit to this road. Mrs. Johnson's Wall Emporium. And yes, we have an invite to go into these premises and visit.
Welcome to Mrs. Johnson's Emporium. Let me show you round. Hi there, I'm Mrs. Johnson from Mrs. Johnson's Emporium. Do come in and have a look around. Well, first of all, you walk in our lovely entrance. We've got all the knitting patterns there and knitting and crochet books. We've got all bags for knitting and crochet and special craft scissors in these gorgeous old vintage cabinets. We have lots of garments knitted up as we go around to show you what the wool looks like. And here we've got a cabinet full of 100% wool. From the bottom two shelves from Italy, the top from Britain, and you'll see our crocheted animals. They're larger than your average crochet decorations, aren't they? Let me take you round and show you some of the knitted things. So this is Pom-Pom Wool, and look how it knits up. It does make you look clever. And if you continue down here, at the back you'll see our button collection, but look at the little crayon buttons on this little cardigan. Have a look up this corridor. It's just packed with gorgeous coloured wools. The building's a Victorian building, so we've got these gorgeous cabinets in, and we bought them from our local hospice shop. So they've got more than £3,000, and we've got what we think are Victorian looking cabinets to house our gorgeous wool. Yeah, and we have lots of people coming who accompany people that knit, and then have to have a look around just because it's so eye-catching and colourful. Yeah, gorgeous little baby cardigans, aren't they? It's a gorgeous time to knit and crochet when you've got a new baby arriving in the family. We do have a lot of knitters and crocheters who knit for charity and send them to Africa and things like that. So these are knitted slippers, but you then wash them, boil wash them, and it felts them. And they're so gorgeously warm. A new wool that's 100% cotton, and lovely fluffy wools. Have a feel, Colin, how soft it is. It's gorgeously soft. And cushion covers that we knit. I like to knit handbags as well. And I take my handbags out and people say, oh, that's nice, where have you got that from? And I say, oh, I've done it myself. Even more, yet more yarn up there. And then we come to the other side of our shop, which is haberdashery. So we've got things for curtains, felt, for waistbands. We've got all these stands here, which are for embroidery and tapestry. Tapestry wool and stranded cotton. We've even got in the corner, I'll show you later, we've got an alterations company who do alterations to people's clothing. And this, which used to be the old lift shaft, that's the changing room now. I think people are a bit frightened they're going to end up on a different floor. So now we've got all the things if you're making garments, needles, fat quarters. So that's for quilting and things like that. And it's a quarter of a yard. That's why it's called a fat quarter. And then look at our range of beautifully coloured ribbons, all guarded by our knitted elephant up here. And then we come back to all our buttons. More than 8,000 different types of button. If you can't find a button in our collection, you need to start thinking about zips, which we also have, by the way. Look at all these gorgeous little buttons for children. What have we got? So we've got a little bunny rabbit there. Or a Scotty dog, that's also a favourite of mine. Lots of flowers and the crayons that I'd used in that jumper there. And then the different needles that you need to knit and to crochet hooks to crochet with. And it's the kind of place, if you knit or crochet, you can always find something to buy. It's an inspirational place. You go in just for a look round, I don't need to buy anything, and you come out with something bought. Lots of people ask me what they should get if they want to begin knitting. And most people use a double knitting yarn. That's the common knitting yarn. But if you're a beginner, you're quite slow at knitting. So you might use a chunky wool and it'll knit up faster. and on each ball of yarn it tells you what knitting needles you should be using. That should say 6mm, so you then know what size knitting needle you get. Come and visit soon. Thank you.
Well, Suzanne, I want to thank you from myself and also all the viewers that will watch this. You were magnificent, and thank you for inviting us all in to your lovely shop. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.